Today I'll be doing an unboxing of this calligraphy set that I got, but first I have a few thoughts I want to share about my planner and also to mention a new notebook that I've added to my lineup. So as you can see, I'm still using the Chillpeach days. I'm very happy with it, but I have a few thoughts that I would like to share about it. So as you probably know if you've seen my previous videos, I was struggling so much to find the perfect planner system for me, and finally I feel that I have the perfect planner for me, and this is obviously the Chillpeach. But it kind of feels a little bit too perfect. Hear me out. Okay, this sounds crazy, but it's a little bit too perfect in the sense that it just doesn't make sense, like how perfect this is. Maybe I just didn't expect to find the perfect system, or I wasn't ready for it. Because, I mean, as much as I hated trying to find a planner and just keep changing planners, as much as I hated that, there was also this challenge to it and this excitement every time I would try a different planner. I mean, there is a charm to chasing your dreams in a way, and I don't know, to just settle in one planner and just feel that this is it feels very weird. Like, I did not expect this to happen at all. And this probably also has something to do with my busy schedule, because I feel that there's no room for anything else. So I have sort of been neglecting all of my other notebooks. I feel that this space for journaling is just enough, like as much as I need. This long list here is enough for me to write all of my to-dos and my extra lists. There's enough space here for doodles, and it just sort of fits perfectly into my schedule. So for sure, if you have a busy schedule, this is perfect. Of course, you have to also want to have a page per day. Like, if you're way too busy, obviously this is not going to be for you. But if you're too busy for extended journaling pages, like the Hobonichi cousin, for example, this is literally perfect. The timeline obviously works really nicely because it's a separate section for you to focus on what you need to do that day. I just feel that it's perfect. I have nothing bad to say about it, other than the fact that it's a little bit too perfect. I know it's crazy, but it's just how I feel, and I wanted to share that. But again, it could be just the fact that my schedule has been so busy that I was not able to work on my other notebooks. So essentially, I don't know if this makes sense, but essentially my complaint is that I feel that I don't need any other notebooks. That's my complaint in a sense, which is crazy because this was my goal to begin with. My goal was to just have one planner that has everything in it. So yeah, this doesn't make sense to me either, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, it's not really a complaint, it's just me. I don't know, my brain is broken. But honestly, I have nothing but to say. I've been using this daily. And there is just nothing negative to say about it. I don't know. It looks great. This past few weeks, it's not looking as good as it did in January, for example, because I've been so busy, and just sometimes I even struggle to finish the journaling section and even the list. So, but that's just my schedule, it's not the planner's fault. Just want to say that. But I'm just so happy with it. There's nothing negative to say about this. And I'm also very happy about the fact that I no longer need an extra notebook in the back here, because I reached that point where it sort of lays flat, so I don't need support for the left page, for example. The point here is, will I be using this next year? Should I commit to this planner? I'm not quite sure. Because again, it feels so perfect. So on one hand, I'm like, why not just keep a perfect planner, right? It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, what if I want to keep experimenting? What if I want to keep trying different planners? And also, for example, next year, my schedule is going to look very different. It's not going to be so busy. I'm going to have a lot more time to work on my notebooks, my bullet journals, and all of that. So I'm thinking, will this be a good option for when I have all this free time? I really don't know. So I'm going to have to think about that. But honestly, I mean, it's a great problem to have, essentially, that your planner is too perfect. I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, also I wanted to mention that I have added one more notebook to my lineup, and this is a Leuchtturm, and it's basically vertical like this. I did debate about using it like this, but it just didn't make sense to me. And I think this is how you're supposed to use it anyway. So yeah, I started using this as a to-do list / tasks. It's just a long list of things and ideas. But in this case, they are not really categorized. So essentially what I will be doing is just writing all of my lists here, all of my list items, and then transferring them to this little notebook here. This is a Hobonichi one, which here I basically have everything categorized. So I have my categories here, and then I use the bullet system here to categorize and see what each list is all about. And you might ask, why do I need two of these, right? It doesn't make sense, but basically when I have ideas or when I'm thinking about and planning about what I have to do, I don't want to have to categorize it immediately. I want to write it in a long list and then categorize that, because doing that at the same time would kind of be a little bit too mentally straining in a way. So I prefer to just sort of vomit on the paper all of my list and just all of the things that just come to mind, and then take those and transfer them and categorize them when I have time and do it as a separate task, essentially. So yeah, that's why I needed both of these. Again, I haven't had the time to do this actually, so I guess this is why this is a good solution, because I can just keep all of my list items here until I have time to categorize them properly. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. It's super cute, and it has the pocket on the back here as well. It came with some stickers also, and these are archive stickers essentially, so when you finish it you can archive your notebook. It also has the elastic bands that you can use, and of course, as all of these notebooks have, this has numbers at the bottom of the pages, which I don't think it was necessary for this one, because it's more like a casual notebook, because you can also remove the pages. It is perforated here, so you could just remove it. So in that case, of course I'm not gonna do that, I don't need to do that, but in that case, like if I start removing pages, what's the point of the numbers, right? Doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, I'm so happy about this. It's super cute, very handy, and I think it's a perfect way to use it, to have it for your tasks, your to-dos, and just something a little bit more casual. I think it just fits the role a little bit better. I don't think I would be able to use this for journaling or anything else essentially. Perhaps I could use it for sketching, but I don't think that would work very well, mainly because I need to rest my hand somewhere, and this is just not convenient for that. So just quickly listing things, I think that's the best to use for this. Or you could have it on the go. I mean, there's so many ways you can use this. So yeah, this is my addition. for now, and I'm extremely happy about it. Super cute. Okay, so let's move on to the calligraphy set. I will be reviewing all of the items in here and try it out as well. I have to start by saying that I do not have a lot of experience with fountain pens. I have used one recently, but it was like a very cheap one and it was not the best experience. This obviously is not anything too professional or anything like that, but I really like that it has different nibs here. I think this is going to be very helpful when it comes to calligraphy. Also has some wax sticks here and a seal that I'll be reviewing. I don't know if I'll be trying this today. I bought this for the fountain pens. I didn't know that it had this wax seal thing. And I have no idea what this is. This, I believe, is like the stand for the fountain pen, so you can hold it. And some ink here. But honestly, I have no idea what this is. I'm not even sure if I got this one right. Because I think... Does it have space for this candle? I don't know what's going on here. I have also ordered a proper fountain pen, which is the Lamy or Lamy, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. The Safari one, which I guess is the most affordable, beginner-friendly fountain pen from that line. So I'm waiting for that to arrive. And I also got a brown ink, which I think is gonna be perfect for my graphic novel notebook. So I'll definitely be waiting for that before I start doing spreads in here, because as you can see, I've been using a brown fine liner and I don't want to suddenly start using black ink or anything like that. I do prefer this look. So I will be waiting for the ink to arrive and the fountain pen so I can start using it here. I do enjoy this look with the fine liner and the more rounded, just normal kind of handwriting in a way. But I definitely think that this is gonna look so much better if I start doing proper calligraphy in a sense. And to do that, obviously I need some extra things like fountain pens, some proper ink and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be doing some new spreads in here with a fountain pen. No more using fine liners, just no. Maybe I'll still use the fine liners in some way. Maybe I'll do this, I'll do sort of a combined method or mixed media kind of thing. I'm not sure yet. But until that happens, I wanted to experiment a little bit with this set. So yeah, today I'll be using some other inks that I have here. I have a black one and a red one. And I will also be using this paper to sort of test it out and maybe I can make something nice out of it. I've recently started getting into Byzantine calligraphy and I wanted to try that out. I also bought one of those bamboo fountain pens, which is basically the traditional fountain pen that was used back in the day, like medieval ages. It was surprisingly easy to use, but I don't think I can start with that. It feels like a little bit more advanced. So I feel that I need something more for a beginner because honestly I have zero experience in writing with a fountain pen. So I thought it was a good idea to just start slow, start practicing, and then when I feel way more confident and way more comfortable using a fountain pen, I can use those old-timey medieval bamboo sticks essentially. Let me show you what I mean. So these are the traditional, let's say, medieval bamboo sticks that they used as fountain pens, and you can see the one I used here. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to clean it afterwards, but I found it a bit pointless because I don't know, why damage it with water when I'm just gonna use it again. So I just didn't clean this one. And you can see how it's carved here. I'm not sure why this looks like this. I don't know if I can use both sides. I don't think so. That's why I didn't use it, because this side has a hole here and just feels like this is the right side to use it with. So yeah, this is the bamboo stick that they used to use. Obviously they used feathers as well, I believe. So yeah, this I feel is something for professionals, something for someone way more experienced than me. So yeah, definitely I'll be doing some practice with these, and as soon as I feel comfortable I might start using these as well. So yeah, for now I'll start using this, and we can try it out with a simple layout in this page. I'll just spend some time finding something that I want to copy, because essentially in the medieval times they didn't have machines to print anything, so obviously what they had to do was copy the manuscripts. Usually was the religious manuscripts. So if you wanted a copy of the book, you had to order it from the monks, and they would just literally sit for how long they needed to sit and copy the manuscript, which is crazy, but also sounds like the coolest job ever. I want to simulate that profession essentially and pretend to be a monk in the medieval times. Okay, so my experience so far with calligraphy, not doing the best. Obviously this is my first time, and there's different types of calligraphy. This specific one is done with this more flat nibs. Yeah, and you can see the mess here. This is very messy, just a warning, especially if you're working with this kind of fountain pen, because you have to constantly dip it and clean it up a bit as well when you're trying to change colors, so it can get very messy, so just be prepared for that. So yeah, this specific calligraphy is done with a flat nib, and there's other types of calligraphy that is done with just a normal fine tip fountain pen. This one I think is a little bit easier for beginners because there is a specific way to do it, so as soon as you get the hang of it you can easily do the rest. I think that this ink helped me more than this one. I don't know why. This one was not as smooth, it wasn't sliding enough, and I think I just did a better job with the red one. So next time I think I'll be using this black one instead of this one, because this is the same quality as this one, so I think it would just give a much better result at the end. But yeah, for now, this is my practice. I had difficulty working with any other kind of paper, so I ended up using this Hobonichi one, because as you know, the Hobonichi paper is kind of perfect, not so much, but the best I had basically for practicing calligraphy with ink and fountain pens. It's quite resistant, but of course, as you can see here, I have some bleeding here as well as ghosting. It's best to use proper fountain pens instead of this one, because you have to dip it all the time and you can't really control the flow of the ink. Sometimes it just comes out a lot, like this one for example. It's just way too much, and there was no way for me to control that. I guess if I become more experienced in this, I'll be able to control it a little bit more. But I think for now, I should be using a normal fountain pen that has the ink that goes inside, and that gives you just a more constant flow instead of having to dip all the time and not being able to control the flow. So yeah, in the future, I'll be using that probably. I'm just waiting for it to arrive. Definitely, I will not be using this for my graphic novel notebook. I don't want it to be this messy. I think it's just going to be way easier to use than normal fountain pens. But this was a very interesting experience, and I'm glad that at least I found some paper that I could use, because any other paper will just immediately absorb the ink and sort of spread and bleed everywhere. So I could not work with that at all. So yeah, this was my best option. And I'll keep using this just for practicing, but eventually I'm just gonna use the graphic novel notebook, which again, same kind of paper because it's a Hobonichi notebook, so I don't think I'll have issues with that. But yeah, definitely my experience with this has not been the best, but I have to say it's not that bad. I expected this to be a lot more messy, but yeah, I'll keep practicing with this one. But for sure, I think a beginner-friendly fountain pen would be better for me. But this was a lot of fun to do, and definitely feels like meditation when you copy manuscripts. It forces you to go into deep concentration in order to copy correctly. And of course, I don't even know what all this means, so I have to copy each letter because I can't just read the word and write it. I have to keep checking for each letter. I've never been this focused my entire life, so it really helps to ground you and keep you in the moment, keep you focused. And overall, I just think it's such an amazing experience. That's why I wanted to try it. And this is officially a new hobby of mine. And hopefully in the future, I will improve and not be this messy, because I would love to do some full, beautiful spreads and be able to perhaps teach this one day. I would love to help other people to get into this hobby. It's definitely so much fun. So for sure, I will keep doing this, keep practicing and see how I develop my skills. And definitely as soon as I'm good enough, let's say, I'll be moving into my graphic novel notebook where I'll be doing illustrations as well. But most importantly, the calligraphy part and, you know, the big letters, just the whole thing is, I find it so beautiful and mesmerizing. So yeah, definitely I'll keep practicing and hope for the best. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.